everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Gail and I create easy to achieve makeup looks using mainly affordable makeup with minimal fuss. First of all, I just want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2022. I cannot believe we're in the new year already, and today, by popular demand, I'm going to start a series of mainly drugstore foundation reviews, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing this drugstore foundation by MILANI. It's the 2-in-1 Conceal and Perfect Foundation. I have used it before, so it's not a first impression, so therefore I know how it performs on my skin. That being said, I'm going to show you how I apply it, then I'm going to do 2 check-ins, then at the end of the video I'm going to give you my final thoughts on how I feel this foundation performs, the good, the bad and the ugly. I'm not saying it's good or bad or ugly, but I'll give you the full lowdown. So if you're ready, let's begin. My face is moisturised. I'm not using any primer. I want you to see how it looks without any primer. So just skincare is on at the moment. I've got 2 shades. One is great for the summertime for me and the other one is just a little bit too light possibly now, but the shade I wanted was out of stock, so we'll just make do. First of all, I want to show you how it actually looks. That's kind of like one pump, and I'm using my Real Techniques Expert face brush to apply this. So I like to start in the middle actually of my face where I have the most pigmentation, and then work my way out. Don't be afraid to apply it under your eyes and use it as a concealer. Right, I still have a fair amount left on my hand, and let's bring you in a bit closer and see that it's a pretty good coverage. So this is a medium coverage foundation, but you can build it up to full coverage. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It still needs a bit more time to dry down. Still a little bit tacky. And because this can be used as a concealer as well, it's perfectly fine to apply it under the eye. What I'm doing is I'm stippling actually, the brush and the foundation into my skin rather than buffing around, because I don't want to get brush marks. Not that this brush leaves many brush marks, but stippling it, pressing it into the skin, especially on the areas that need more coverage. I'm going to go away now, put the rest of my makeup on. I'm going to do 2 check-ins so you can see how it's held up, and then I'll give you my final findings and thoughts on this, and we'll conclude with whether or not I think that you should go ahead and try it. Okay, so up close and personal, and you can see that it hasn't accentuated the lines under my eyes. Remember, I didn't use any primer, I just used skincare, and it hasn't actually broken down after 5 hours, and it hasn't accentuated any of my dry patches, predominantly sort of around my mouth area. And nor has it accentuated my pores. In fact, they look quite minimised, so really happy with this. The finish is still very radiant without looking oily or greasy, which I'm really pleased about. The consistency is creamy, it's rich, but also it's lightweight. So when you put it on your skin, you don't feel like it's heavy or cakey or too much. You don't need a huge amount. I used a pump. If you want more coverage, it's buildable. You can apply it with a sponge, or you can use a brush like I did. I feel that the sponge probably doesn't give you as much coverage. If you're after full coverage, then go with a brush. It hasn't broken down, but you can definitely see shine on the skin, and also on the sides of my nose you can see where my glasses were, and it has slightly rubbed off, but nothing major. All in all, I think this stood up very well. It claims to be long wearing. Was it long wearing? Well, yeah, I think for sure it was. I did a 5-hour check-in and then a 10-hour check-in, and as far as I'm concerned, it still looked pretty amazing. It's creamy, it's flawless, it's lightweight. Did it cover my imperfections? Yes, it did, with just one application around the middle of my face, which has pigmentation. It did a marvellous job. It felt smooth, it felt flawless, even without setting it. And also it's water resistant, so that's a big positive, especially in the warmer months, which seems so far away at the moment. But if you've got an oily skin, definitely recommend setting up powder or using a primer first for oily skin, or using a setting spray. And I love this NYX setting spray. Again, it's affordable makeup. It does the job really, really well. And back to the MILANI 2-in-1 Perfect and Conceal Foundation. It hasn't got a huge price point. It comes in 29 shades. It's cruelty-free. And although the formula is rich and creamy, it doesn't make your skin feel greasy or oily. When I weigh it up against other foundations that I've got and use, which cost maybe 10, 15, 20 pounds more than this one, I think, why wouldn't I use this? At the moment, it is my Holy Grail affordable foundation. Am I going to find something better? I hope so. I'm really excited to try lots of new foundations. If there's one that you want me to try, drop it in the comments below. Always on the lookout for amazing affordable foundations, especially for dry, mature skin. And thank you to all my lovely subscribers. Take care everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.